Right, here we are. We've got a question. Do you need an ADV bike? Does anybody need an ADV bike? Now, I would argue yes, everyone does. From the smallest fetus to the oldest geriatric, everyone should have a motorcycle and it should be an ADV bike. But I'm biased. I have one. I'm currently riding my Cove 525X. It's a Chinese brand and it's a very fair effort at a mid-range ADV bike. I love it, it's a beast. In the background there, you can see my good mate, Olympic. He's riding a Honda CB190R. It's a small-engined regular street bike. My other friend on this trip today is Kian. He's riding a CF Moto 250SR. So that's another Chinese brand, and it's a 250 race bike, almost. All three machines are great fun, because all motorcycles are. Get yourself one, stop humming and ahhing, pull your finger out, buy a motorbike. You won't regret it. But how did we answer the question of whether you need an ADV bike or not? We answered it by going on a trip to Baipenzhu, this absolutely ridiculous reservoir. I'm defo going to get down on one of those islands and camp it out 1 or 2 nights. I'll make a video if you want to see it. Get yourself to my channel and ruddy subscribe right now. Now, the CF Moto 250 and Olympic had kept up all the way to the reservoir because we were riding on regular paved streets, so of course they kept up. But now it was the turn of the ADV bike. We were heading out into the reservoir. It gets muddy, it gets dusty. Acceleration and top speed don't matter. It's all about traction. Traction is king. Let's see how everything goes. Get out my way. Yeah, this is where things swing in my favour. I am not the most experienced rider in the whole world, but I do like my bike. I do like to get it out on the rough and tumble. But so far, we're on hard pack, and the 2 street bikes are doing pretty well also. We're all beaming from ear to ear because this is a great spot to ride. What fun. Yeah, you share your space with some water buffalo who have no problems with traction at all, and you soon realise that this is what you were after. This is what's going to help you deal with the pressures of the ruddy world spinning away as it does. Oh, a little wobble at the end there, but I think the bike did pretty well across that deep mud. How the street bike's going to do? They're going to have to go round, of course they are. It was too deep and too sloppy for those boys. They did ridiculously well, to be fair, but did get stuck in the end. Why did they get stuck? Because we're riding next to this river in a reservoir that fills to the very brim. So we're in the floodplain of that river, essentially. Of course it's bloody muddy. Now, you may be thinking that this has answered our question. Do you need an ADV bike? I'm not so sure it's that conclusive. Yeah, stick under the back wheel didn't work, so Muggin's here had to push it. Yeah, I'm going to say 1-0 to the ADV bike. The biggest loser in that scenario was my boots. No traction whatsoever. Was Olympic stuck? Not really. Despite the low traction, he could just go back and pick a different route. Yeah. Do I think either of these boys were desperately disappointed that they didn't have an ADV bike? No. They were having an absolute whale of a time. As you would. If you bought yourself a motorbike, buy one. Yeah, the discussion was less about whether you needed an ADV bike or not, and more about what tyres you had on your bike, because that would really make the difference in this scenario. Anyway, what's the point of an ADV bike? Really, what is the point?
Oh, you did it.
It's to go out on adventures, isn't it? Give yourself a day out or a few days out to help redress the balance from whatever it is that ails you, whatever pressures, irksome things you have going on in your life. You just want to step away from it for a little while. And whether the manufacturer of a particular bike has decided to bestow the letters ADV on that particular model has nothing to do with it. You can see here clearly the CF Moto is struggling a little bit with traction. Is it the best tool for the job? No. But it got there. We all got there. And if anything is going to recharge your batteries, it's a little trip out like this. Yeah, eagle-eyed viewers will know that I've ridden all over this spot and camped here and there and everywhere. And now it's underwater. A lot of fun to come at this time of year to see that. But we still thought we'd try and head down this road, because this road extends quite far out into the reservoir. What fun it would be to try and traverse, but very quickly, upon sending the drone up, it was obvious that wasn't going to happen. So we thought about just heading as far in that direction as we could manage. So we backtracked a little, headed back to the tree line, because we'd learnt that that was where the drier paths were. And we tried to get around this corner here. Yeah, a lot of fun trying to pick our way through here. The slippery mud wasn't really a problem right here, but some careful manoeuvring was required. Stick to the footpath. I wouldn't dare call it even a trail, it was too narrow for that. But we managed to squirm our way through. And you can see just by going a little higher it was drier, so we'd hoped that this path would do as well. And we got through those bushes at the start before immediately discovering a gigantic bog. So another drone flight was had to assess the situation, and it was deemed necessary to park up, dismount, and perhaps try and find somewhere for a spot at lunch. It was very dry on the ground, so we couldn't have a fire around here without setting fire to the old ruddy place. But there was a tomb there that you can see, and it had a little open area in front that was made of concrete, and we thought that would be safer. So we set to grabbing some firewood and confirmed that the ground absolutely was far too dry and would possibly spark things off. Of course, the advantage of that is that the kindling is everywhere. Everything's bone dry. So we got some stuff and got up to that concrete and set about a bit of lunch. Some camping gear Big Ether donated, water, and something far more necessary than an ADV bike, an axe. If you're going to go on an adventure, I do highly recommend you bring an axe, because why not?
Try and shield it from the wind a little bit.
Yeah, mine has a ferro stick on it, like a flint type stick, so you can use it to start fires.
Oh, fire power.
Yeah. It's essentially the most savage antisocial tool you could have. You've got an axe, chop stuff down, and you can also start fires with it. Brilliant. Yeah, we found some bricks nearby and ended up making a rather civilised little cooking station. Now, what was I going to cook up on this cooking station? Well, I put aside my necessary tools and got to organising my very adventurous lunch. It's noodles! Of course it's bloody noodles. We're in China. Why would it be anything else? Yeah, worked pretty well. And being one of those people who likes a bit of difficulty, I think it's actually good medicine. I didn't bring any utensils. So I knocked up some chopsticks in the traditional fashion, munched down my noodles, and enjoyed the view. The view did include some eagles, which I got on footage, so those of you who didn't like my no eagle video can get bent. Put that in your pipe and smoke it right up. Yeah, a great spot that keeps on giving this Baipenzhu. Get yourself over there. We made sure to put the fire out properly. and packed up. We tidied up the tomb a little bit as a thank you to the inhabitants for letting us borrow their spot. And we got back onto our bikes, ADV or otherwise, and headed home, having had an absolutely brilliant day. So do you need an ADV bike? No, you don't. Do you need a motorbike? Any motorbike? Of course you do. And I have to say, the ADV bike was by far and away the best tool for the job. It got to the most places, was most comfortable, had the most appropriate tyres. I was very happy with my purchase. Get yourself a bike, get out on an adventure, and why not post a video?